VSOP Hip Hop and Wrestling, how you doing? If you missed Rampage, don't worry, I got you. Former champs The Acclaimed and Billy Gunn clashed with The Butcher and The Blade and Kip Sabian. Allysin Kay returned to face Toni Storm, while Cal Fletcher of Aussie Open battled Action Andretti, and the Mogul Embassy faced Dark Order in a thrilling tag team showdown. So come enjoy the highlights with me as we do our AEW Rampage recap. The show took place in Detroit, and we set things off with The Acclaim, taking on Kip Sabian, The Butcher, and The Blade. The match begins with Anthony Bowens and Kip Sabian in the ring. Bowens hits a kick and a float-over leg drop and lets us know that everybody loves The Acclaimed. The Blade tags in, and so does Max Caster, who sets the Blade up for the Scissor Me Timbers double team. The OG Daddy Ass still a degenerate. Bowens with the leg drop to the groin, and we get a little Scissor Me action. The Butcher tags in, blocks the kick attempt, and hits a hard clothesline on Bowens. Butcher throws Bowens to the outside, and the Butcher, Blade, and Kip Sabian have their own little scissor party. Disrespectful. On the outside, Kip Sabian hits a springboard moonsault on Bowens. Butcher, Blade, and Kip proceed to beat on Owens for the next few minutes as he desperately tries to make a tag. Bowens is able to hit a super kick out of desperation and finally tags in Daddy Ass. The OG vet Billy Gunn runs wild, hits a power slam. Max Caster comes with a springboard drop kick, and then Billy Gunn hits the Fameasser. Caster and Bowens are able to regain control of the match. Bowens hits the Arrival, and then Caster comes off the top with the mic drop, gets the 1-2-3 pin. Your winners, The Acclaimed. Backstage, we have QT and the QTV crew, along with Powerhouse Hobbs, their eyes set on the TNT Championship. Next up, we have the beautiful but dangerous Toni Storm representing the Outcasts. Her opponent, a returning Allysin Kay. Toni Storm comes fierce out the gate, but Allysin Kay can be fierce as well, hitting Toni Storm with the big boots, some punches, and some kicks in the corner. Saraya interferes, which allows Toni Storm to regain her momentum. Ruby Soho and Saraya both interfere on the outside while Toni distracts the ref. On the outside, Allysin Kay receives some vicious chops. Toni Storm is so good at being bad. Toni gets Allysin back in the ring just to throw her out on the other side, but this time Allysin fights back. Allysin hits Toni with a neck breaker and a stiff lariat. But that's not enough. Toni Storm hits the Tornado DDT. She attempts the Code Zero pile driver, but Allison's able to reverse it into a dude buster. That could have been it, but Ruby Soho distracts the ref. Allysin Kay is frustrated, but don't take your eyes off the prize. Toni Storm hits a vicious German suplex and then the ass attack, followed by the Code Zero pile driver for the win. Toni Storm, Saraya, and Ruby Soho continue to dominate the AEW women's division. Backstage, the Guns are frustrated because they have not received a rematch for the AEW Tag Team Championships that they lost to FTR. Ethan Page shows up to ask for some assistance with his Hardy family problem. Next up, we have Kyle Fletcher, one half of Aussie Open, the IWGP World Tag Team Champions, taking on the high-flying Action Andretti. The bell rings and the two men lock up and exchange holds. We got wrist locks, wrist lock counters, waist locks, Goldilocks, Bad Boy Rough Riders locks. We get a little taste of Lucha Libre, followed by a spinning tornillo. Fletcher hits a high-speed kick and Andretti is out on the floor. Fletcher with a body slam on the floor mats. Fletcher has Andretti set up for something that looks very painful, but Andretti is able to counter. Andretti sends Fletcher to the outside and then launches for a suicide dive, clearing about 10 feet. Fletcher hits a big kick in the corner and then gets Andretti up, and a brainbuster drops him right on his head, but Andretti kicks out at 2. Andretti hits the enziguri to Fletcher, then leaps to the top rope to hit a massive superplex. Both men felt the impact of that. Action Andretti hits a springboard 450 splash for a 2 count. What is it going to take to keep Fletcher down? I have no idea what maneuver Fletcher is setting up right now, but it looks nasty, and it is nasty. It is a spinning tombstone power driver, and Kyle Fletcher is your winner. He'll be facing Orange Cassidy for the International Championship, and he throws up the flaccid thumb. That should be a pretty good match when it happens. We got the Hardy Boys in the ring celebrating the fact that they are no longer tied to Stokely Hathaway and Ethan Page, and Isaiah Cassidy says, "Oh yeah!" I'm sure one day that will get over, but until then, let me get another. The Guns say they're the best brother tag team in AEW and challenge the Hardys to a match. What do you say? We'll take that as a yes. Next up, it's time for our main event, the Mogul Embassy versus the Dark Order. Swerve is smooth as silk with the offense. Check out that head scissors. The big man and the little big man tag in. Brian Cage and Johnny Hungy. Massive Brian Cage hits the head scissors of his own. Johnny Hungy lifts Brian Cage up like it's nothing and then drops him down with a power slam. John Silver falls through the ropes thanks to Swerve, then Swerve kicks him in the face. Swerve and Brian Cage are in control, but not for long. Silver gets Brian Cage up for a suplex and tags in Reynolds, who runs wild on Swerve. Alex Reynolds with a tiger driver and then a stomp pulling pile driver. Swerve is going to be feeling that for days. Fast forward, Swerve misses the double stomp, which allows the Dark Order to hit their kick, forearm kick, stunner, German suplex combo, but it can't manage to get the pin. Brian Cage pulls Reynolds groin first into the ring post and then rams John Silver into the guardrail and the ring apron, which allows Swerve to hit a kick to the back of John Silver's head. Cage hits a pop-up powerbomb, then gets Reynolds up into a fireman's carry. Then here comes Swerve with the cutter. What a maneuver. Unfortunately, he's only down for a 2 count. Cage and Swerve can't believe what's happening. Swerve hits another kick in the corner, and then Cage hits a vicious lariat on Reynolds. Cage and Swerve both hit their finishers in unison, and they get the 1, 2, 3. The Mogul Embassy are your winners. But it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. Here comes the Gates of Agony to continue the beatdown. They take out Evil Uno for good measure, and Swerve has a sick, twisted look on his face, but not for long, because here comes Keith Lee and Dustin Rhodes. The bad guys exit the ring and head to the back. Keith Lee still wants his one-on-one matchup with Swerve. They have so much unfinished business. So let's see where this goes. That was a pretty good, entertaining episode of Rampage. Hopefully you enjoyed this recap, and if so, you know what you need to do. Like, subscribe, share. I appreciate you. VSOP out.